Greetings, YouTube. Today I'm going to be talking about classic horror. Now, this is the Creatures of Classic Horror, a coloring and guidebook written and illustrated by Davina Rush. Miss Rush contacted me and asked if I would do a review of her book. And she said was going to send me a copy. And I guess she was using a service where they print on demand and they drop ship it, which is fine. I've had that done myself. It's not a big deal. Whoever did this was not paying attention, because this is the cover they sent me. It's the right content, but the cover's Primal Constructs, Primal Consciousness Evolution Volume 1 by Andrea Wood Schmitz. Nothing to do with classic monsters. So I'm giving this one to my wife so she can color it. Same content, just different cover. This is the proper cover. Miss Rush was nice enough to send me a second one so I would have the right cover for the review. And what she does in here, well, first of all, she sent me some great little stickers card. That was kind of nicer. And she even gave me her signature, which I think was also a nice touch. Very nice person, Miss Rush. What she does in here is this covers coloring techniques. So if you have an interest in how she did some of the shading, and for your own coloring techniques you want to use in the process of coloring. Forward, then she covers these classic monsters: Dracula, Frankenstein, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, witches, mummies, the Headless Horseman, zombies, Phantom of the Opera, werewolves, aliens, demons, about the author, author's note, and image cache. Because at the end of the book there are just large-scale versions, and they're also versions on each chapter. Now, the chapters aren't particularly long. For example, here you go. This is the list of a filmography here of Frankenstein, and then a 2-page spread about Frankenstein, and then the image of Frankenstein. And she goes way back. She goes back to the earliest things. So, like, the first one is the Frankenstein in 1910. Then she goes up, like, The Life Without Soul in 1915. Frankenstein 31 with Boris Karloff. Bride of Frankenstein. Son of Frankenstein. Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein. The Curse of Frankenstein. The Revenge of Frankenstein. Mad Monster Party. Lady Frankenstein. Dracula vs. Frankenstein. Annie Warhol's Frankenstein, which is strange. Frankenstein, the True Story. A Young Frankenstein, which is awesome. Frankenweenie, which I actually wasn't aware was done in '84. That was an original. I was completely unaware of that. I thought it was. We only have a copy of the later version. We have to get a copy of the first one. The Monster Squad, which is also excellent. Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, starring De Niro. I have a copy of that. I haven't watched it. Frankenstein Reborn, Frankenstein Made for TV, and Frankenweenie, which is from Tim Burton in 2012. And I also just recently picked up something called Subject 2. Which is a modern interpretation of the Frankenstein book. I haven't had a chance to watch that either. And then she talks about the character itself, and for 2 pages, she covers a lot of ground. Then, like, for example, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Unfortunately, where is it? Is it Dracula she does? Let me check one thing. Oh, yeah, it's like she's got, like, dark shadows in here twice, once for vampires and once for witches. That pains me because Dark Shadows is so horrible. And and here's a picture of the author herself. It says Davina Rush is an author and illustrator whose main concentration is in the creative field of writing, ink illustration, and oil painting. Currently, publication includes The Creature of Greek Mythology and The Creatures of Classic Horror. Davina currently resides at the beautiful Emerald Coast of Northwest Florida with her family. More information can be found at www.davinarush.com. I really happen to like the demon. I think the demon's quite nice. And you got the classic gray. Though the highlights of the eyes kind of make it look like irises. I think I would have gone with more of a vertical reflection, kind of like, so it looked less iris-like, but that's just me. What was the other one in here? I think the zombies came out nice. I like the jaw, that slightly dislocated vibe it's going on there. And one of the things I like about this is that the illustrations, for me, kind of hit the 1960s vibe. Because I can remember horror comics from the 60s and 70s. And these illustrations remind me of some of those covers I'd seen when I was a kid. Horror in very broad definition of horror. They weren't all that freaking scary. In retrospect, they weren't. I suppose at the time they probably scared me. But if you are into monsters and you are into coloring, because coloring for adults is all the rage at the moment, this is an excellent book. It's also good, I think, it would be for young adults or like maybe tweens who are like monster fans. This could definitely be something you want to get them. I think that they would really enjoy it. I know I really enjoyed looking at it and reading the stuff and looking at the filmographies, and it gave me an inspiration to like I just said, there's a couple of videos in here that I own that I haven't had a chance to watch yet, so I'm going to get my butt in gear and do it. For example, in Demons, you've got Puppet Master, Necronomicon, The Book of the Dead, The Prophecy. I really liked the Prophecy book. The Prophecy movie wasn't bad, but the book was quite good. I think it's the Jennifer's Body. I've actually heard decent things about Jennifer's Body, believe it or not. I have a copy. I have to get around to watching that. The Exorcist, of course, and Rosemary's Baby. She-Beast. I know I've got a copy of She-Beast in my collection. So yeah, just some really nice work. Good references, except for Dark Shadows. It's a very enjoyable book. Go get it if you're into monsters. I think you'll enjoy it. And again, I think it's perfect for a tween or a young adult that is into this thing and is looking maybe for some inspiration of what they can go hunt down on Netflix or whatever the heck you get for download sites. Or some of this stuff may be open to public domain, so you'll be able to find some of the stuff, some of the old stuff on YouTube or some other source free of charge. Some of these films are very old. You're talking like early, 100 years ago in some cases. So yeah, good book. Thank you, Miss Rush. I really appreciate the touch of the signature and the card and the sticker. And thanks.